Let's just jump right in. I am so glad you're here, because in this explainer, we're going to tackle one of the most mind-bending paradoxes in all of robotics. And we're going to frame the whole thing around a simple, everyday quest, getting a robot to fetch you a snack from the kitchen. I know, it sounds like standard sci-fi stuff, right? But the actual science of getting a machine to navigate and physically interact with our world, it is incredibly intricate. It literally requires bridging this massive, massive divide between human biology and machine programming. Okay, let's dive into this roadmap. We'll start off with the physical paradox of computing. Then, we are going to break down the three absolute pillars of robotics: localization, planning, and manipulation, before wrapping up with how these systems are safely tested for the future.
Starting with Part 1, the physical paradox. Why is the easy stuff so hard for AI?
To really get robotics, you have to appreciate this amazing irony. For a computer, crunching millions of math problems in a single second, super easy. Barely an inconvenience. But doing something we take for granted, like taking a single step or walking across a cluttered office without tripping, that is monumentally difficult to program. It's wild, right? Think about human adaptability. We're the ultimate generalists. We naturally process all this diverse data in complex environments. We can cook dinner, drive a car, play tennis, all using the exact same biological hardware. But robots? They are extreme specialists. Take the Curiosity rover. It spent 7 incredible years navigating Mars, but you definitely could not ask it to tidy up your apartment. A Roomba sweeps floors perfectly, but it's not going to build you a car anytime soon. Robots need highly specific, rigid hardware and targeted training just to do one single thing. Which brings us to Pillar 1 of our snack quest: localization. Answering the question, where am I? Before a robot can roll into your kitchen to grab anything, it has to be able to interact with the world by establishing its exact location. So let's relate this to our own human experience. How do you know where you are? Imagine you walk into a totally brand new shopping mall and you're looking for a specific shoe store. You naturally just start observing the walls, the escalators, the shop signs. As you walk, you're constantly building a mental map of your surroundings and keeping track of your own path without even really thinking about it. Well, for a robot, figuring out where it is while exploring goes by a very cool acronym: SLAM. That stands for Simultaneous Localization and Mapping. As a robot moves through a space, like an office, it uses SLAM to continuously track its own path while simultaneously updating a digital mental map of all the walls and obstacles it encounters. And this brilliantly illustrates how we're essentially trying to mimic human biology in machines. We humans use what's called stereoscopic vision. Having two eyes gives us slightly different views of the world, allowing our brains to calculate depth. Now, robots obviously don't have biological eyes, but they use SLAM systems combined with an array of cameras and sensors to achieve that exact same spatial awareness in a changing environment. So, what specific hardware is replacing our eyes? Well, there are a few ways robots see. Some use basic RGB cameras for standard color images, or stereoscopic cameras with 2 lenses to directly mimic our depth perception. Some use infrared depth cameras, bounding invisible light off objects to measure distance, kind of like the old video game Kinect sensor. And then there's LiDAR. This is a total game changer for self-driving cars. LiDAR shoots out over 100,000 laser pulses every single second. It measures exactly when they bounce back to map out flat surfaces and 3D objects like mailboxes or street lamps in real time. It's basically seeing with light. Moving right along to Pillar 2, planning. Figuring out how to actually get there. Okay, so our robot knows where it is. It's mapped the office. Now it has to figure out exactly how to navigate to the kitchen for the snack. Going back to our shopping mall analogy, once you know where the shoe store is on your mental map, how do you decide the best route? You plan. You know instinctively that taking the escalator is probably faster than waiting around for an elevator, so you choose that path. In the robotics world, this is known as symbolic AI planning. It's the AI's ability to search through all these challenging possibilities and logically string together a sequence of events to hit a specific goal. It's not just moving, it's reasoning through the routes and figuring out how to interact with objects along the way. Let's see how this builds into an exact, rigid logic sequence. Say a closed door is blocking the kitchen. For the robot, step 1 is recognizing the precondition. Okay, a door exists and it is closed. Step 2 is the action. The AI triggers its specific open door maneuver. Step 3 is the effect. The door is now open, the environment has changed, and the robot can finally pass through. It has to calculate that entire sequence just to cross a single threshold. All right, on to Pillar 3, manipulation. actually interacting physically with the world. So, our robot has navigated the halls, reasoned its way through the door, and it is finally in the kitchen. Now comes the hardest part. It has to use its mechanical parts to grab your snack. Sounds simple to us, right? But think about human babies. They're actually super clumsy. It takes us years to coordinate our brains and muscles to manipulate objects smoothly. But as adults, you can pick up an egg without crushing it or hold a heavy coffee mug without dropping it. The profound challenge of robotics is replicating that biological mastery using cold silicon and steel. The secret to our success is a biological wonder called proprioception. It's our nervous system's built-in ability to know exactly where our body parts are and how they're moving, even if we aren't looking at them. Seriously, try it right now. Close your eyes, stretch your arms out wide, and try to touch your index fingers together. You'll probably get incredibly close. That is proprioception at work. So the crucial point is how completely different this is for a machine. We rely on a highly evolved network of muscles and essential nervous system. Robots, they have absolutely zero natural awareness. None. They rely entirely on specifically programmed motor sensors just to know if their own parts are moving, where they're positioned, and how fast they're going. To actually make manipulation work, robots use something called closed-loop control. It's essentially control with constant feedback. Going back to our finger-touching experiment, if you open your eyes while doing it, it's flawless, right? Because as your fingers get closer, you see them and you make tiny split-second adjustments. That is a closed loop. For a robot, this means creating a continuous feedback loop that connects its visual perception sensors directly to its mechanical control pieces, constantly adjusting its grip and position. You really see why this is absolutely crucial when you look at the alternative. When you pick up a box that's heavier than expected, your closed-loop system feels the skin pull on your fingers and you instinctively grip tighter. But an open-loop system operates with zero feedback. Imagine closing your eyes and trying to touch someone else's moving finger. You can't perceive what they're doing, so you just blindly continue your action and completely fail. A robot without closed-loop feedback would just violently smash your snack into a million crumbs or awkwardly drop it on the floor. But here's the really exciting news. When we get this right, it is astounding. With refined programming that mimics proprioception and perfect closed-loop feedback, mechanical parts can perform incredibly delicate, highly specific actions. Researchers have actually built robotic arms capable of carefully twisting and removing the cream from an Oreo cookie without breaking the wafer. I mean, that's just mind-blowing. And that brings us to our final section, testing for the future, training AI safely. As amazing as that Oreo twisting robot is, we have to acknowledge that a robot flawlessly navigating an unpredictable human household to fetch a snack is still a massive work in progress. And before these robotic AIs enter our real world, we absolutely must keep them in safe test spaces. We can't have flawed systems like self-driving cars or household bots accidentally hurting anyone. To train them, developers use secure environments, empty warehouses where robots practice walking safely, complex virtual mazes for navigation algorithms. They even use video game simulations to train AIs on how to interact with spaces before they ever touch real physical hardware. Which brings us to the fascinating frontier of human-robot interaction. Because as robots inevitably master localization, planning, and manipulation, they are going to be sharing our spaces. They're going to need to understand our spoken language and our body commands. And that leaves us with a pretty provocative question to ponder. As we keep building these machines, how will a deeper understanding of our own human biology and senses be the ultimate key to communicating with the intelligent machines of tomorrow? Really makes you think, doesn't it? Well, thank you so much for exploring the amazing physical paradox of robotics with me on this explainer. Keep learning, and I'll catch you next time.